girl in my room and her face on the wall with no eyes. Girl with no eyes, who can she be? A girl with no eyes, she's looking at me. There's a girl in my room and her face on the wall with no eyes. If I make a sound, she'll know that I'm stirring inside. If I make a sound, she'll know that I'm trying to hide. Okay, I'm gonna hope that that's not too much of a song. Besides that, damn, it's from 1969. So how many years ago was that? I mean, it seems like it's more than 50. 79, 89, 99, 2009. 2019 was 50 years. I don't think they should have a damn copyright on it after 50 years. They might not. I just want to play that part of that song. So if I get in trouble, I'll have to start over again like I did on the other one. Or maybe I can leave it. It just depends on how important it is to me. I don't know how to do the monetizing thing. I don't know where any money would ever come into play, you know, but if it did, I sure would like to be able to get some. I really need some money. I'm going to get ready and go out there for a walk. I hope I have my gloves on me. I think I do. Why not? Don't tell me I got to go back in the house. Yeah, I need my gloves, doggone it. I don't want to wear those other ones because it's chilly. But I do see sun out there. Maybe I should go look. And like the song says, it's a beautiful day. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be lovely. And you know what? My shades are out here, I think. Where did I put them? Doggone it. I probably took them in the house. Isn't that how it goes? I put things away. That's not always the case. Okay. I need my gloves. All right, so again, you can go walk through the house with me. And then I will get my gloves on and see about walking. Ow. Ow, ow. Yeah, I definitely need a plan. I need wonderful, wonderful nutrition and sleep. I'm gonna have to get something to help me sleep because I don't get enough sleep. So you need good water, good food, rest. I gotta see if I can find my gloves on here. I think they're on my bed. I thought I put them in my pocket. Can't tell in here, it's dark. Okay, there they are. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, ow. I want my shades. You know what, I might have brought them in here, but I did. Brought them in here and put them in their box so they wouldn't get hurt. Okay, gloves. So, you heard that song. I like the music, but I also like the words. The girl in my room with her face on the wall with no eyes. She's just a reflection of all that I'm trying to hide. A girl with no eyes, who can she be? Girl with no eyes, she's looking at me. There's a girl in my room with her face on the wall with no eyes. And I see I lose those words in between there. But yeah, doesn't want her to know that she doesn't want him to know that she's stirring inside. Let's see. Doesn't everybody know? Everybody know love takes a lifetime. It's the high side of a lifetime. Anyway, I do like that song. So I came in the house to get my gloves and to get my glasses. Now I'm here sitting on my bed. I gotta get up. I'm gonna go outside and get that done. And then I need to get prepared. I need to do some stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, you know. I need to figure that out. Yeah. It's a crying shame to leave your investments sitting to rot. So I've got a property in Kansas that nobody's been in for 10 years. The fence is all blown down, but it can be put back up pretty easy as long as you got help. You know, it takes two people to really do it right. I mean, you can do it, but it takes so much longer to do by yourself. Plus, you need to be strong, because in order to screw those screws through the metal, you got to push hard. My fingers over, you got to push hard. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere. I mean, I've done it. I've tried to do it, and I have done it, but you got to put your all into it. And so now I'm sure the ones that have blown off have got holes in it where the screws were. So screws will have to be going through other pieces of the metal. Still a good fence. It would be much nicer to have a solid frame for it, though. So those of you that ever thought about building a fence like that, you want to have a framework. Have your post and then have the frame. In other words, like every 2 feet or something, have a board that you can screw into. Crisscrossing like a tic-tac-toe board, you know. Does that make any sense? I'm sure it did. Anyway, I need to walk, so let's go endeavor to do that. I do think it's helping my blood sugar. Oh, sorry for my moaning and groaning. Every time I get up, I have to take a minute or two to get engaged. If I sit in a certain way, it stretches me all out of whack, and it's like, okay, now we got to pull it back together. Ow. I'm gonna head out and walk. I haven't done that part yet. I had to get my gloves. They were in the bedroom. Now I got my shades. Hopefully I don't know if it's sunny out there or not. Anyway, we're gonna have what we said. We're gonna do the chicken and if you want rice, we'll do rice. Chicken and rice and cream of chicken soup.
You got the cream of chicken?
Yeah, I saw some in the cupboard. We will do it. I will love it.
I'm ready for it.
Are you ready right now?
No, well, I'll be ready when you guys are ready.
Okay, all right, because I'm going to go walk and then I'll be back.
All right.
Okay, gotta walk. And thank you guys for helping me walk. Of course, I guess it's just me. I can just talk to myself and walk. Doesn't everybody know? Everybody know love takes a lifetime. La 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 la. Now there's a glare in my hair. It looks terrible. Oh man, my hair was so thick when I was young. Once upon a time, a person told me I had a beautiful mane, like a horse. You know, real thick. I had real thick hair. I'll put my glasses on. I probably won't even need them out there, but I'm going to put them on anyway. Hoping the sun was shining. Okay, let's see. Weird things. Okay. I swear, it always feels like there's a hair. You know what it is? It's that the shades. Okay. The shade part is longer than my glasses and it's touching my nose. It's like, okay, what's over there? Feels like a hair. Okay. I better get all enclosed here. The wind can be cold. But hopefully it's a nice day. It's been nice several days this week. So that's what's coming. So far, I bet you we have some more cold weather. That sounds like a big old garbage truck going by. You know what? There's a button up here. I'm putting it there. That'll help. I'm a mess, I know. So how are you guys doing today? If you're not doing well, just shut me down. Actually, no, maybe I'll make you feel better. You never know. I don't know what I'm going to be saying anyway. But we'll try to be on the light side of stuff. Ow, I need to come up with a bunch of songs. I know, I keep saying that too. So now I'm going to be singing that one, Girl with No Eyes. Oh. There's a girl in my room with her face on the wall with no eyes. She's just a reflection of all that I'm trying to hide. Girl with no eyes, who can she be? Girl with no eyes, she's looking at me. There's a girl in my room with her face on the wall with no eyes. Did I already say that part? She's just a reflection of all that I'm trying to hide. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to it a few times. Those intro parts. Boy, it's chilly out here. Damn. Yeah, it's really cloudy and the wind is blowing. So I won't be walking much because I'm just a little baby. Should really tie my hair back. It's driving me crazy. Okay. Yeah, so I need to get on to something else. What should we talk about, guys? These shades are too big for my glasses. I've got a different pair of glasses that's got shades and they look better. But the idea is that, and there is some nice sunshine going on over there. Maybe it'll come through those clouds. That would be great. Yeah, we went to Costco. My Aunt Kathy came over yesterday and took me to the movies. And we went over to Costco and did some shopping. And brought it back here. Haven't been to Costco in forever. But I tell you, some of the things they got there is good. Like, for instance, oh, I was gonna say, my menopause supplements that I ran out of a while back. I'm hoping that's the reason I'm sweating, because they did get my sweats down, you know. And I know you don't probably know. Damn. I see a ray of sunshine up there. Okay, that wind is cold. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just be a baby. Anyway, I'm gonna come in here and talk. That's just the way that goes. Like my dad would say, first your money, then your clothes. You know, when you're poor, ain't got nothing. They'll take everything you got until you're naked, I guess. That's what he was trying to say. Okay. Oh, I'm actually tired. Well, I had a chocolate muffin. That's what I was talking about was going to Costco. So what we did was we got a rotisserie chicken, which is so good. And if you take all the meat off the bone and stuff, you know, then you can have a couple, 3 meals. And you can get a rotisserie chicken. They do this as a come-in thing. Come into the store, $5 for a rotisserie chicken. And there was a big old line of people waiting to get their rotisserie chicken. And then one guy took 10 of them. I mean, there are people that come in and maybe they're having a feast or something. I don't know. My Aunt Kathy bought something yesterday. What was it? I think it was chicken that she's going to can. So that's an interesting thought. But tell her to have me come over so I can learn how to do it. I never had anybody to teach me, and I'm sure her mother taught her well. Grandma Smith was into canning and her garden and stuff. I really wish I'd have spent more time with her as a teenager. You know, I just remember being there when I was little, and that wasn't really pleasant. Children were to be seen and not heard. They got switched. You know, go out and get your own switch, and then you got a beating with a switch. I think our punishment was working in the garden with briars. You know, they don't stop thinking, you go work in the garden, right? Well, those weeds, some of them have briars on them. You need gloves. Anyway, I was just a little child. All those things that I remember, I was just young. You know, like 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have memories from when I was very young. Evidently from 1 year old, because Dad verified one. And I was a toddler. It's verified because there was hurricanes. We got to get rid of that glare. There was a couple of really big hurricanes that went through North Carolina and through New Bern, where we lived. And I couldn't have been but a year old. I don't even know if Nathan was born then, because I'm a year and a month older than him. But we were on the second floor in a house, and I was looking either over the railing or through the railing at the water down in our house. There was water in the house and a boat with a person in it. They came in to get us to see if we wanted to go, and Dad had us stay at the house, I guess. I don't know if that was very smart, but I was just a little thing, so who knows? I just remember the water and the boat. I told my mom about that, and she acted like it never happened. And she couldn't believe that I would remember something like that. Is really what it boiled down to. I guess I should hold those. I don't want to hold those on there. Okay. Yes, I argue with myself, too. Oh, I tell you, I don't know. I am a mess. I've got so much I need to do. I need a secretary is what I need. An executive assistant. I'm a great thinker. Let me do the thinking, and then when I say it out loud, you're supposed to take the ball and go do it. That's not how it works. Not how it works. I can't see without my glasses to read or anything. I thought, in fact, I'll have to wear my glasses because I was going to think of something. What could we look up? That would be interesting. Or what should I read? That would be really interesting. I find The Pearl of Great Price to be quite interesting. And it's because of inspired translations of things that are already there, but maybe some of the words were wrong. Anyway, let's just see what's in here. Dum da dum da da dum da dum dum da dum 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 dum. Evolution. Huh. Wow. Okay, well this is Mormon Doctrine that I'm looking at, and you can take a topic and look it up, and then it'll give you scriptures all over the place to read, to reference what they're talking about. But here's evolution. It says, see Adam, atonement of Christ, creation, earth, okay, earth singular, and then earth with an S, earth, fallen man, fall of Adam, first man, God, millennium, pre-existence. Of the several theories postulated in one age or another to explain, without the aid of revelation, the origin of man and the various forms of life, none has taken such hold or found such widespread acceptance as the relativity. I'm saying that word wrong. Hold on. Relatively, not whatever, so relatively acceptance as the relatively modern so-called theory of organic evolution. Stated generally, this theory assumes that over long periods of time and through a series of changes, all present living organisms or groups of organisms have acquired the morphological and physiological characters which distinguish them. The theory assumes that all present animal and plants have their origin in other pre-existing types. The distinguishable differences between due to modification in successive generations, one or more common origins for all forms of life are assumed. From the day of their first announcement, these theories of organic evolution found themselves in conflict with the principles of revealed religion, as such are found recorded in the scriptures and expounded by inspired teachers, doctrines of salvation. Now, I need to look at those books. Volume 1, pages 139 through 151. President John Taylor wrote as follows: the animal and vegetable creations are governed by certain laws and are composed of certain elements peculiar to themselves. This applies to man, to the beast, fowls, fish, and creeping things, to the insects, and to all animated nature, each one possessing its own distinctive features, each requiring a specific sustenance, so that's food, each having an organism and faculties governed by prescribed laws to perpetuate its own kind. So accurate is the formation of the various living creatures that an intelligent student of nature can tell by any particular bone of the skeleton of an animal to what class or order it belongs. These principles do not change, as represented by evolutionists of the Darwinian school, but the primitive organisms of all living beings exist in the same form as when they first received their impress from their mother. If we take man, he is said to have been made in the image of God, for the simple reason that he is a son of God. And being his son, he is, of course, his offspring, an emanation from God, in whose likeness we are told he is made. He did not originate from a chaotic mass of matter, moving or inert, but came forth possessing in an embryonic state all the faculties and powers of a God. You hear that, guys? That's real important. I can't believe I just turned to that. Okay, there's several pages on evolution. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I just turned a page. So that's just one side of a page. And when he shall be perfected and have progressed to maturity, he will be like his Father, a God, being indeed his offspring, as the horse, the ox, the sheep, and every living creature, including man, propagates its own species and perpetuates its own kind, so does God perpetuate his. Now, those who have an ear, let them hear. Have you guys been listening to me? I mean, my videos that I've been doing? We are who we were. We didn't evolve. Man is man is man. Woman is woman is woman. But so are the horses and the this and the that. Now, yes, we do some breeding, crossbreeding and stuff like that. So then things change. But in the gist of things, the pattern is set. Okay? I feel good reading this because it's corroborating what I've said. And that's if that's the right word. You guys know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Paul, in speaking on the resurrection, refers to the difficult qualities of flesh as follows. But God giveth it a body, as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, and another of fishes, and another of birds. That's in 1 Corinthians 15, so that's chapter 15, verses 38 and 39. If you want to go look that up. I'm having some sharp pains there. Those are nerve pains, right in the tops of my toes. That's crazy. All right, so 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 38 and 39 is going to tell you about the different kinds of flesh. Because they just said what it is, and then they're giving you a reference to go look it up so you can see it for yourself. Okay, next verse. These different qualities seem to be inherent in the several species, as much so as the properties of silver, gold, copper, iron, and other minerals are inherent in the matter in which they are contained, whilst herbs, according to their kind, possess their specific properties, or as the leading properties of earth, air, and water are distinct from one another, and hence on I don't know what that word is, physiological grounds, okay? This principle being admitted, and it cannot be controverted, it would be impossible to take the tissues of the lower, or indeed of any order of fishes, and make them an ox, a bird, or a man, as impossible as it would be to take iron and make it into gold, silver, or copper, or to produce any other changes in the law which govern any kind of matter. And when the resurrection and exaltation of man shall be consummated, although more pure, refined, and glorious, yet will he still be in the same image and have the same likeness, without variation or change in any of his parts or faculties, except the substitution of spirit for blood. Meditation and atonement. That's mediation and atonement. And then it's got a PP, like pages 160 and 161. So I don't know that book. Mediation and Atonement. That's a book, evidently. I don't know anything about that one. This aptly expressed and plainly worded statement from President John Taylor expresses the same views and perspective found in the writings and sermons of Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, Orson Pratt, Parley P. Pratt, Charles W. Penrose, and many of our early day inspired writers. Man, his origin and destiny, and that's pages 1 through 563. Wow. The first presidency of the church, and that's Joseph F. Smith, John R. Winder, and Anthony H. Lund. Here we have a Lund. In November 1909. Gerald Lund is an excellent author of today, so there we have that back in, I don't know what it says, November 1909. The first presidency of the church, and then it says Joseph F. Smith, John R. Winder, and Anthony H. Lund. That's the first presidency of the church back in. It says, in November 1909, issued a formal pronouncement under the title, The Origin of Man, in which, as they expressed it, is set forth the position held by the church upon the subject of evolution, after explaining the scriptural passages relative to the creation and pre-existence. This document concludes, Adam, our great progenitor, the first man, was like Christ, a pre-existent spirit, and like Christ, he took upon him an appropriate body, the body of a man, and so became a living soul. The doctrine of the pre-existence revealed so plainly, particularly in latter days, pours a wonderful flood of light upon the otherwise mysterious problem of man's origin. It shows that man as a spirit was forgotten and born of heavenly parents, begotten. I said that wrong. That man as a spirit was begotten and born of heavenly parents and reared to maturity in the eternal mansions of the Father, prior to coming upon the earth in a temporal body to undergo and experience immortality. It teaches that all men existed in the spirit before any man existed in the flesh, and that all who have inhabited the earth since Adam have taken bodies and become souls in like manner. So they need that body and the spirit together, people. It is held by some that Adam was not the first man upon this earth, and that the original human being was a development from lower orders of the animal creation, These, however, are the theories of men. The word of the Lord declares that Adam was the first man of all men. That's in Moses chapter 1, verse 34. That's in the Pearl of Great Price. Okay, really good place. And we are therefore in duty bound to regard him as the primal parent of the race. It was shown to the brother of Jared that all men were created in the beginning after the image of God. And whether we take this to mean the spirit or the body, or both, it commits us to the same conclusion. Man began life as a human being in the likeness of our Heavenly Father. True it is that the body of man enters upon its career as a tiny germ or embryo, which becomes an infant, quickened at a certain stage by the Spirit, whose tabernacle it is. In other words, that body that's being created is its tabernacle. The Spirit comes in and its tabernacle, its body, its vehicle in order to experience this life. Okay, so let's see. Whose tabernacle it is. And the child, after being born, develops into a man. There is nothing in this, however, to indicate that the original man, the first of our race, began life as anything less than a man, or less than a human germ or embryo that becomes a man. Man, by searching, cannot find out God. Never, unaided, will he discover the truth about the beginning of human life. The Lord must reveal himself or remain unrevealed. And the same is true of the facts relating to the origin of Adam's race. God alone can reveal them. Some of these facts, however, are already known, and what has been made known, it is our duty to receive and retain. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, basing its belief on divine revelations, ancient and modern, proclaims man to be the direct and lineal offspring of deity. God himself is an exalted man. And you got that part? God himself is an exalted man. Meaning he went through all these stages too. He was a man. And he graduated. He attained it. He was exalted. Because in the end, that's what we want to be, is exalted. Okay, you'll have to look that up. Okay. God himself is an exalted man, comma, perfected, enthroned, and supreme. By his almighty power, he organized the earth and all that it contains, from spirit and element, which exists co-eternally with himself. He formed every plant that grows and every animal that breathes, each after its own kind, spiritually and temporally, that which is spiritual being in the likeness of that which is temporal, and that which is temporal in the likeness of that which is spiritual. Now, that might be confusing, but do you understand? That which was created physically was created spiritually, and they look the same. That's what I'm getting out of it. Okay. He made the tadpole and the ape, the lion and the elephant, but he did not make them in his own image, nor endow them with godlike reason or intelligence. Nevertheless, the whole animal creation will be perfected and perpetuated in the hereafter, each class in its destined order or sphere, and will enjoy eternal felicity. That fact has been made plain in this dispensation. That's in Doctrine and Covenants, section 77, verse 3. Okay. Man is the child of God, formed in the divine image and endowed with divine attributes, and even as the infant son of an earthly father and mother is capable in due time of becoming a man, so the undeveloped offspring of celestial parentage is capable by experience through ages and eons, I think that's what that word is, AEONS, of evolution. Okay, let's see. By experience through ages and eons of evolving into a god. Man, his origin and destiny, pages 354 and 355. I wonder how many pages there are of this, because I could be reading forever. Doesn't everybody know love takes a lifetime? La, 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 la. La, 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 la. There's a bunch, man. I can't read all that stuff. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit more. Obviously, there never will be a conflict between truths revealed in the realm of religion and those discovered by scientific research. Truth is ever in harmony with itself. But if false doctrines creep into revealed religion, these will run counter to the discovered truths of science. And if false science theories are postulated, these ultimately will be overthrown by the truths revealed from Him who knows all things. I'm already at 42 minutes. Okay. Sometimes persons having a knowledge of the revealed truths of salvation and of the evolutionistic theories of the day keep these two branches of knowledge divided between separate mental compartments. Their purpose seems to be to avoid resolving the obvious conflicts which otherwise would arise. Truth, however, is truth, and ultimately every believing person must channel his mental processes so that proper choices are made as between the truths of salvation and the theories of men. Perhaps it will be profitable to list a few of the basic revealed truths concerning the origin and destiny of man and of all life, truths which are not taken into consideration by evolutionists in their theorizing, and which in most instances are diametrically opposed to the speculative conclusions reached by them. Then it says 1, period. God, creator and ruler of many worlds. While it is true that evolutionists may be divided between theistic and I don't know those words, okay? Yet most of those professing belief in God consider all to be an indefinable force, essence, or power of an incomprehensible nature. According to Revelation, however, he is a personal being, a holy and exalted man, a glorified resurrected personage having a tangible body of flesh and bones, an anthropomorphic, I don't know that word, anyway, an entity, the personal father of the spirits of all men. This is Doctrine and Covenants 130, section 130, verses 22 and 23. Moses, chapter 6, verses 51 and 57. Abraham, chapter 3, verses 22 through 24. Joseph Smith, 2, so that would be volume 2, pages 16 through 19. This person, in whose image and likeness man is created, has ordained the same plan of creation and salvation for this earth, and all the varieties of life on its face that he has ordained, with reference to the infinite number of worlds elsewhere created by him. Moses 1, Doctrine and Covenants, section 76, verses 22 through 24. Obviously, the eternal truths concerning the nature of the true God and his creative enterprises have received no consideration in the formulation of the theory of organic evolution. Wow. Okay, so here's number 2, pre-existence. Life did not originate on this earth. It was transplanted from other and older spheres. Men are the literal spirit children, spirit offspring of the eternal Father. They were born to him and his spirit progeny as spirit entities, having bodies made of a more pure and refined substance than that comprising these mortal tabernacles. Further, every form of life had a spirit existence in that eternal world before it came to dwell naturally upon the face of the earth. All that prior existence for all forms of life was one in which the spirit entity had the exact form and likeness of its present temporal body. Animals, plants, fowls, fishes, all forms of life existed as spirit entities in pre-existence. Their number, extent, variety, and form were known with exactitude before ever the foundations of this earth were laid. They were all destined to live in their time and season upon this particular globe. And that's found in Moses chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. Doctrine and Covenants, section 77, verses 1 and 2. There was no chance whatever connected with the creative enterprises. All things were foreknown to that God who fathered man in his own image, and who created all other forms of life for the benefit and blessing of man. Evolutionary speculation takes no account of any such revealed knowledge as this. This is number 3. Earth created in a paradisical state. This earth, when first it rolled forth from the Creator's hand, was in a paradisical or terrestrial state. This condition, which does not now prevail, will be restored when the earth is renewed, made new again, and receives its paradisical glory. 10th article of faith. Okay, that's found in Pearl of Great Price at the back. Okay, in its primeval, in its primeval Edenic state, I don't know those words, the earth's surface was in one place. Moses 2, verse 9. Thorns, thistles, briars, and noxious weeds had not yet begun to grow on it. Rather, all plant and animal life was desirable, congenial, and designed to provide for man, earth's crowning inhabitant, a fruitful, peaceful garden in which to dwell. It was not a condition attained by progressive creation or by progressive creative evolvement. I can't even say my words right. You got that? I'm going to do that again. It was not a condition attained by progressive creative evolvement from less propitious, I don't know that word, situations. Propitious. Profit. How do you spell profit? I don't know what that word is. It's Propitious. Situations. It was created, it was creation in its glory, beauty and perfection. Hence, the Lord God pronounced it very good. The fall to present conditions was to come later. Parley P. Pratt, Voice of Warning, Chapter 5. So that's another book. Bearing on this general theme that the earth was created in its glory and perfection in a higher type of existence than it now enjoys, is the revealed fact that, as is the case with man, the earth itself is passing through a plan of salvation. It was created, the equivalent of birth. It fell to its present mortal or telestial state. It was baptized by immersion when the universal flood swept over its entire surface. That's in Ether chapter 13, verse 2 through 11. It will be baptized by fire, the equivalent of baptism of the Spirit, in the day when it is renewed and receives last word I think was receives its paradisical glory. It will die, and finally it will be quickened or resurrected and become a celestial sphere. Evolutionary theories take no account of any of this. This is number 4. Temporal creation of man and all life, Adam and Eve, and all forms of life, both animal and plant, were created in immortality. That is, when first placed on this earth, all forms of life were in a state of immortality. There was no death in the world. Death entered after the fall. All things existed in a state of primeval innocence. If conditions had not changed, death would not have entered the picture. Instead of the revelations expressed it, as the revelations expressed it, all things which were created must have remained in the same state in which they were after they were created, and they must have remained forever and had no end. That's in 2 Nephi chapter 2, verse 22. The recorded teachings of many of the early brethren of the church bear this same testimony. Orson Pratt, for instance, had left us such apt expressions as these. When the Lord made the fowls of the air and the fishes of the sea to people the atmospheric heavens, or the watery elements, these fowls and fishes were so constructed in their nature as to be capable of eternal existence. Man, when he was first placed on this earth, was an immortal being, capable of eternal endurance. His flesh and bones, as well as his spirit, were immortal and eternal in their nature, and it was just as with all the inferior creation, the lion, the leopard, the kid, and the cow, it was so with the feathered tribes of creation, as well as those that swim in the vast ocean of waters. All were immortal and eternal in their nature, and the earth itself, as a living being, was immortal and eternal in its nature. The earth was so constructed that it was capable of existing as a living being to all eternity, with all the swarms of animals, fowls, and fishes that were first placed upon the face thereof. If there had been no sin, our father Adam would at this day have been in the Garden of Eden, as bright and as blooming, as fresh and as fair as ever, together with his lovely consort Eve, dwelling in all the beauty of youth. Man, his origin and destiny, pages 388 to 396. Wow, I've read a lot. Someone's going to be coming in here, so I need to stop. Okay, so I'm on 252. Wow. I might have to come back and read some more, guys, because that's just a lot. Okay, I think I will. Let's see if there's any more numbers. There is! Okay, I'll read a little bit more. All right. After this temporal creation, this creation of all forms of life in a state of immortality, the Lord God issued the decree that all created life should remain in the sphere in which it was after it was created. Further, having in mind the coming fall and consequent entrance of death and mortality into the world, the Lord in that first primeval day commanded that all forms of life, after mortality entered the picture, should bring forth posterity, each after its own kind. And this is in Moses 2, verse 3. These principles accord with the one announced by Paul, that all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. That's 1 Corinthians 15, chapter 15, verse 39. If the revelations are true, which say that all life was created in immortality, then evolutionary theories, which necessarily assume there was always death in the world, are false. Fall of Adam. This is number 5. Fall of Adam and all things. Before the fall, there was never death, nor procreation. Plants, animals, and man would have continued living forever, unless a change of conditions overtook them. And in their then immortal condition, they would not have reproduced, each after its own kind. Death and procreation pertain to mortality. That is, to the status and type of existence attained by all forms of life subsequent to the fall. That would be after the fall. Okay, Lehi said, if Adam had not transgressed, he would not have fallen, but he would have remained in the Garden of Eden, and all things which were created must have remained forever and had no end. Ouch. And they would have had no children. Wherefore they would have remained in a state of innocence, having no joy, for they knew no misery, doing no good, for they knew no sin. But behold, all things have been done in the wisdom of him who knoweth all things. Adam fell that men might be, and men are that they might have joy. And the Messiah cometh in the fullness of time, that he may redeem the children of men from the fall. And that's in 2 Nephi chapter 2, verse 22 through 26. Eve expressed the same truth in this language. Were it not for our transgression, we never should have had seed, and never should have known good and evil, and the joy of our redemption, and the eternal life which God giveth unto all the obedient. And that's in Moses chapter 5, verse 11, pearl of great price. Okay. Adam's fall brought temporal, natural, and spiritual death into the world. The temporal or natural death means that body and spirit separate, the spirit going to the world of waiting spirits to await the day of the resurrection, the body returning to the dust, the primal element from which it was taken. The effects of this fall passed upon all created things. Adam was appointed Lord of this creation. Orson Pratt says, a great governor swaying the scepter of power over the whole earth. What's that all about? I got to go back because I was thinking about something else for some reason. Okay, the effects of this fall passed upon all created things. Adam was appointed Lord of this creation. Orson Pratt says, a great governor swaying the scepter of power over the whole earth. When the governor, the person who was placed to reign over this fair creation, had transgressed, we're talking about Adam, all in his dominion had to feel the effects of it, the same as a father or a mother who transgresses certain laws frequently transmits the effects thereof to the latest generations. Man, His Origin and Destiny, page 395. So that's a book. Thus when man fell, the earth fell together with all forms of life on its face. Death entered, procreation began. The probationary experiences of mortality had their start. Before this fall, there was neither mortality, nor birth, nor death, nor, for that matter, did Adam so much as have blood in his veins. And the same would be true for other forms of life, for blood is an element pertaining only to mortality. Let's see. You know, if I keep going, I might can get this done. I've got 3 more pages to do. And I'll probably not come back to it, and it won't do it justice. So I'm going to read it. It's a lot to read, but it's interesting. Obviously, the whole doctrine of the fall and all that pertains to it is diametrically opposed to the evolutionary assumptions relative to the origin of species. Atonement of Christ. Our Lord's atoning sacrifice is the cornerstone on which the whole gospel of salvation rests. For this atonement to come to pass, two things were necessary. Christ had to come into the world as a literal son of an immortal, personal Father, a Father who had life in himself and from whom his offspring, immortality, would inherit power over death. John chapter 10, 7 through 18. And two, the fall of Adam had to introduce temporal and spiritual death into the world. For the atonement in its very nature was designed to ransom all things that fell from the effects of that fall. All forms of life are ransomed from the temporal effects of the fall, in that they are resurrected and become immortal. Now, if Adam did not fall and bring death into the world, there would be no need for the atoning sacrifice of Christ. If there were no atonement to ransom fallen beings and creatures from the effects of the fall, there would be no resurrection, no immortality, no salvation, no eternal life, and if all these things should vanish away, we could discard God himself, and our faith would be vain. Adam's place in the plan of salvation. I'm tired of reading, guys. Let me see here. I should just keep reading. Adam's place in the plan of salvation. Father Adam was the mightiest and most intelligent spirit son of God, save Jesus, Jehovah. Only among all the pre-existent hosts destined to come to this earth. That's in Doctrine and Covenants, section 78, verse 15 and 16. When there was war in heaven following Lucifer's rebellion, Adam led the armies of the righteous in casting out the rebels. That's in Revelation 12, 7 through 10. When the populating of the earth was to commence, Adam came to fill his foreordained mission and stand as the first man of all men. He was placed in the Garden of Eden, fell in due course from his state of immortality and innocence, and became the first mortal flesh on earth. Moses 2, verse 3. There were no pre-Adamites. Okay, no pre-Adamites. Any assumption to the contrary runs counter to the whole plan and scheme of the Almighty in creating and peopling this earth. As a mortal man, Adam held the priesthood, had the fullness of the gospel, heard the voice of God, and saw his face, received the ministration of angels, received the ministration of angels, held the keys of the kingdom, enjoyed the gifts of the Spirit, was an intelligent and wise as any man, save Jesus only, who has ever lived, and finally, having filled the full measure of his creation, he has gone on to his exaltation and glory in all things, and he will reign as a prince and ruler over his posterity forever. He and other men of his day enjoyed abundant spiritual endowments. and possessed physical bodies superior to those of any men now on earth. Many, including Adam, did nearly 1,000 years on earth. Moses 6. So let's look at the whole chapter. Doctrine and Covenants, section 107, verses 40 through 52. It is vain to belittle Adam and attempt to place him but a step ahead of some lower form of creation. Revelation speaks to the contrary, and of course the reasoning that concerns us here is no Adam, no fall, no atonement, no true religion, and no purpose in life. Age of the earth. Evolutionary theories assume that hundreds of millions of years were involved, first in the creation of the earth and as a habitable globe, and again in the evolution of spontaneously generating single-celled forms to live into the complex and forms, multitudinous forms of life now found on its face. We have rather specific scriptural indications that the creative period was of relatively short duration. The record says it was after the Lord's time, which was after the time of Kolob. One day on which planet is equal to 1,000 years of our time. For as yet the code had not appointed unto Adam his reckoning. Abraham 5:13. However, for our present purposes, it is sufficient to know that the time element since mortal life began on earth is specifically and pointedly made known. We are now nearing the end of the 6,000 years of this earth, continuous, or its temporal existence, and the millennial era will commence in the beginning of the 7,000 years. Doctrine and Covenants, section 77. That is, we are approaching the end of the sixth and the periods of 1,000 years each, all of which periods have occurred since the fall, since Adam and Eve. Since the earth became temporal, since it gained its telestial status, since it became the natural earth that we know, since death and mortality entered the scene. Thus the period during which birth and life and death have been occurring on this earth in less than 6,000 years. Future destiny of the earth and life thereon. According to the evolutionary theories, life will continue on this sphere with such changes, mutations, and developments as circumstances and environment require. Okay. Actually, however, future events involving the earth and all living things thereon will be as dramatic and divergent from what finite intellects might assume as past events have been. Okay, I gotta go back over that. This is like number 9, it says, okay, future destiny of the earth and life thereon. According to the evolutionary theories, life will continue on this sphere with such changes, mutations, and developments as circumstances and environment require. Actually, however, future events involving the earth and all living things thereon will be as dramatic and divergent from what infinite intellects might assume, as past events have been. Our knowledge of these future events in no sense harmonious with progressive evolutionary developments, gives us an entirely different perspective relative to the gives us an entirely different perspective relative to the origin and development of species than the one assumed by evolutionists. For instance, evolutionary theories have no place in them for the imminent second advent of our Lord, a coming which will usher in the millennium era of peace. These theories give no consideration to the revealed facts that the elements are to melt with fervent heat. I'm almost done. Okay? When Christ comes, that every corruptible thing, both of man or of the beast of the field, or of the fowls of the heavens and of the fish of the sea, that dwells upon all the face of the earth, shall be consumed. Doctrine and Covenants, section 101, verse 24. That the earth will then be renewed, returned again to that paradisical state which prevailed before the fall, that the enmity of man and of beast will cease, and that there will be no more death as we know it, men living instead, freed from disease and sickness, until they are 100 years old. That's what I told Dad. When they will be changed to immortality in the twinkling of an eye. Doctrine and Covenants, section 101, verses 23 through 32. I think I want to read that again. Enmity must mean at odds with, or, the food chain. Let's see what it says here. That the earth will then be renewed, returning again to that paradisical state which prevailed before the fall, that the enmity of man and of beast will cease, and that there will be no more death as we know it, men living instead, freed from disease and sickness, until they are 100 years old, when they will be changed to immortality in the twinkling of an eye. I told you already, Doctrine and Covenants 101, verse 23 through 32. Further, these theories take no account of the resurrection from the dead, that eventual status when all men and all forms of life, every living thing that has ever breathed the breath of life, every animal, fish, fowl, or what have you, will come forth as immortal, resurrected beings and creatures. That's in Doctrine and Covenants, section 29, verse 22 through 26, and section 77, verse 1 through 3. Nor do these theories give consideration to the fact that this earth itself is to pass through changes equivalent to death and resurrection, finally becoming a celestial sphere, I can't say it very well, which will burn like the sun in the firmament, a planet on whose surface only celestial beings will then be able to live. Doctrine and Covenants, section 88, verse 14 through 28, and also section 130, verse 7 through 9. How weak and puerile, I don't know what that word is, I don't know that word. How weak and puerile, the intellectuality, which knowing that the Lord's plan takes all forms of life from the pre-existent spirit state through mortality and on to an ultimate resurrected state of immortality, yet finds comfort in the theoretical postulates that mortal life began in the scum of the sea, as it were, and has through eons of time evolved to its present varieties and state. Do those with spiritual insight really think that the infinite creator of worlds without number would operate in this way? And then here's number 10. Evolution and spiritual things in general, merely to list the basic doctrines of the gospel, is to point out the revealed truths which are inharmonious with the theories of organic evolution, and which were not taken into account by those who postulated those theories. In addition to the considerations so far mentioned, attention might be given to revelation, visions, and angelic ministrations, to miracles, signs, and gifts of the Spirit, to the enjoyment of the gift of the Holy Ghost by the faithful, to the truths comprising the plan of salvation, to the decreed judgment according to works, and the ultimate assignment of all resurrected men to kingdoms or degrees of glory hereafter. There is no harmony between the truths of revealed religion and the theories of organic evolution. And that's that. I don't know how many pages that was. That was a lot. The next name in this book says Exaltation. I wonder how many there is of that. I'm not doing that right now. I just want to know. Okay, that would be really short. Maybe I'll do that one next, but not right now. I'm tired. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to shut my Mormon Doctrine. I didn't know I was going to do all that, but that was pretty interesting. Very interesting, actually. I'll have to listen to it a few times. And we've gone an hour and 23 minutes, so I guess I should stop. I got interrupted with a message, so now my head is distracted. Nevertheless, Mormon Doctrine is a pretty good book, don't you think? I think you might have got something out of what I just read. Didn't give us a whole lot of scriptures to go look up, but it did give some. But my head hurts now, I think. I need to go eat some food. I need to go prepare that good stuff to eat Dad was talking about. So I'm ready. And I started out this video with a song that's still playing in my head. There's a girl in my room with her face on the wall with no eyes. She's just a reflection of all that I'm trying to hide. Girl with no eyes, who can she be? Girl with no eyes, she's looking at me. There's a girl in my room with her face on the wall with no eyes. And in my head, I'm thinking she must be high. If she's like me, no eyes. But I don't think that's what he's saying. Nevertheless, that's enough. You guys have a great day. I hope you do. Today was the 24th of February. Days are passing by really quick. So I'm going to say goodbye. Love you guys. I hope that you got something out of what I read. And you guys have a rest of the good day. A good rest of your day. Anyway, thanks. Bye.